Welcome, guys, to Season 3 of the Tough Car Challenge. Today is the kickoff of the Tough Car Challenge. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a non-normal kickoff for the season because this car, the Abishu Covet Rally, is not going to be scored. This car is going to do 2 laps. A parade lap where I'm going to show you the final course of the official Tough Car Challenge course, and during that parade lap we're gonna go over the rules as well as what qualifies a car to run the Tough Car Challenge. And then the second lap will be a uh, a fast lap, so to speak, where it will be run like we are doing the Tough Car Challenge, running the car as hard as we can and just seeing what kind of destruction we can cause while still trying to complete as many laps as possible. Well, in this case, just one. So with that, let's hop into our rally car and fire it up and, well, get going. All right, we are in our rally car and it is full of rally things like a roll cage, a shift light, racing seats, no back seat, and, well, from the outside it had all the other rally goodies. So let's go ahead and fire it up. And one thing I'm going to note, which I'm going to tell you guys straight up, which is why this kickoff is not a real thing. The car, my gas pedal on my wheel is malfunctioning. Right now, it's behaving itself, but there are times where it will go ahead and just rev up, hold the revs somewhere between 4,000 RPM, or just redline without any input from me. So that and my wheel itself is also getting old. I've had this wheel since, oh goodness gracious, summer 2013 or some 2014. So I've had my G27 for a very, very long time. I got my wheel and stuff so I could do stuff in BeamNG, as well as ETS, because back in the day I did a lot of idiots on the road videos on the ETS multiplayer services. Okay, anyway, all right, that's enough. But yeah, my wheel and pedals is having issues. I am going to be ordering a new one in the next day or so. So this is what you're getting. I do have another video coming out, and it's actually more prevalent of the pedal issues. A police chase video that should be coming up in the coming days. But anyway, enough of that. Let's go ahead and do our parade lap. So we'll put the car in first, release the parking brake, rev it up, and away we go. So essentially, with the Tough Car Challenge, like always, the rule is the number one rule is simple: one car, one try. So essentially, if I were to be running this car to get a score, which eventually I'll come back and I'll score the Rally Covet, it gets one shot. And I tried to skid it there, and I wasn't paying attention, wasn't ready to downshift and kick it around. There we go. Oh! And there we go. I'm not touching the gas. My foot's on the clutch, and that is it. That is it. I am no kidding. So, just popped it, and it came right back down. So that's what this thing's been doing. But anyway, one car, one try. So if a particular car, I take it on the Tough Car Challenge, and for something weird happens, like I come through the little pass here, hit the wall, and it just disables the car. Not even a full lap completed. A half lap completed. It'll be what it's gonna be. So we'll talk about scoring later, but oh, damn it. But that's still the main thing. If the car catches on fire, it's undrivable. It's done. Roll. A lot of these rules will be the same. So rollovers, if the car ends up on its side of the roof, we will go ahead and roll it back over and get it back on its wheels and going. And again, scoring, it's going to go on 2 leaderboards just like last time. I never really went. I did kind of mention the 2 leaderboards, but not as much. Each car was on 2 leaderboards, whether it was vanilla or a mod. It was on the overall leaderboard for that type of car, again, vanilla or mod. But then it also is on a leaderboard of its sister cars. So, like, let's say Sergeant Fido's Olds Full Series cars. I did like an Olds Regency, an Olds Delta 88, and an Impala of different flavors. Those were all going against each other because they were from the same pack, they're from the same family. Or I did the 96 Pessima DX base model and a Pessima Sport V6. Those went against each other because they're the same make and model family. So, inspections is going to get removed down to after any incident, any substantial incident. So, like through this corner, which is pretty much a dead man's corner here. If the car gets wrecked pretty hard, we're gonna pretty much stop right away and check it out. What's happened to the car? Is it obviously we'll know pretty quickly if it's still drivable or not, but it's gonna be one of these things where we're still gonna check it out, see what we're doing. I have decided, even though the other 2 uh, routes are really cool, I'm just gonna keep it simple and go around because that's a little technical in and of itself. Um, Not much of a parade lap because I'm just cruising. Oh, let's see here. Oh, that's not what I want to do. All right. And actually, I spun it around, but for a flying lap, that's what I was trying to think of it. The flying lap, we're going to get a little bit of a running start. We're going to come back here a little bit. But the inspections, again, it'll be after every significant incident. So I'm sure I'll have at least one with this car, and we'll check it out after that incident. All right. The Widowmaker rule, there's no real I have not really dubbed any corner here the Widowmaker yet. That was really on the Rallycross track on the old industrial map, so that rule is kind of out. Actually, that hill going between I'm going to kind of call the gravel circuit the A track and the off-road circuit the B track. That hill between the A track and B track, that could kind of count as the Widowmakers in that test, like if it has the power to climb up the hill. It'll try to climb up. If it can't climb up the hill, it's pretty much said and done. In idling, that's going to be upped from 2 to 5 seconds. I mean, right now, as we're talking, the car is fine. It's idling right. It's like it sees a little bit of gas. Engine's still not up to temperature yet, which is okay. And before we do our flying lap, what qualifies a car to be on the Tough Car Challenge? For the vanilla cars, it's simple. They all qualify. For the modded cars, they have to have engine thermals, and they have to have engine thermals so I can overheat the motor. And actually, honestly, the engine needs to be able to brake, and the drivetrain needs to be able to brake somehow. Like I could sit here, 1 foot on the brake so I don't let the car roll, and just sit here like this. And just sit here and blow the motor out on the car. I should be able to do that in any car that goes into the Tough Car Challenge, period. So engine thermals are important. The ability for the engine and drive shaft to brake are equally as important. Like if I come around like this curve coming down here, I lose it and hit the tree, this tree or these rocks, or I hit the truck that brought the car in hard, to the point where it would break the motor, it needs to break the motor. Plain and simple. So, and the last one is the cars have to be available through BeamNG's forums. Period. I don't care about any of the other sites that have cars available. Some of them are really cool. I don't care. If it's not available on the BeamNG forums, I'm not going to run it through the challenge. End of story. Call me whatever you want for being stuck up like that. Again, don't care. All right, that's going to be it with the rules. That took a little bit longer than I thought. Should have done a second lap and then... Oh, the scoring. Well, we'll do this. Well, we'll do the actual scoring. I've decided on a quarter lap system, and if you don't hit the quarter lap, if you're right in that area of where a quarter lap will be, then you'll get the quarter point. One lap on track A is a half a point. Then the full lap of track B is a half a point. So by doing a full lap of both tracks, you can get 1 point. So I'm still working out the halfway points, but that's pretty much how it's going to be. I might end up actually scrapping the quarter points and just going, if you complete a lap of the gravels of track A, you got a half a point. You complete a lap of track B, you get another half a point, and it's back and forth. If you crash out where this car's sitting, depending on how much of a valiant effort, I might mercy it the half a point. Time will tell. Anyway, that's actually what we're going to do. Heck with the quarters. I just want to deal with the half a point system, so you have to do the full lap. All right, with that being said, foot on the brake and clutch, one on the gas. We're in first gear. Rev it up. 3, 2, 1, and away we go. Woo! A lot of speed coming into the first corner here. Oh! That is what I meant by an incident. Since this is kind of informal, we're going to pop out here, turn the lights off on the car, and I'm just going to very carefully drag it back out. Oof, that was an interesting one. I'm going to grab right here. Come on. And you're on your side. Let's get you on your wheels. And onto the wheels. Honestly, not much damage. The windshield took the biggest hit, and there looks to be maybe a dent in the roof and a dent in the hood. So, okay, back into the car. Fire it up. And turn the lights on so you can see our gauges a little better. Ooh, bicycle. So, the one thing I've been asked about the Tough Car Challenge is why am I always in the first-person view? Why am I in cockpit view? Because I'm kind of trying to do these videos like I am actually in this car talking to you. Now, once it gets to a certain point, it's quite obvious. Well, first off, this is a video game to begin with. I mean, come on. But it's second off, it comes quite clear with some of the cars, if I could only speak English, that it's quite clear with some of these cars, once they get damaged to a certain point, nobody can realistically still be in this thing and it still drive. But for the most part, I still want to kind of be somewhat realistic. And honestly, these cars are being torture tested, so in reality, would some of these cars get pushed as hard as they do? Maybe. Maybe they'd get pushed harder. But on the other hand, maybe they would not. They would get driven lighter. But anyway, that's why I do what I do the way I do. Even though there are some shots that I think, like going through the bowl back there in a couple spots on track A, and actually around here on track B, I think would be awesome. And I might play with BeamNG's replay system in time and see if there is a possibility of doing something like that while I record the main video, run the replay in the background, and then splice the two together and see what I get. So come on, there we go. And that is that. This car would have now one full lap under its belt, so pretty cool. Let's do it again. Let's do another lap. This time without me yapping as much, and just see what happens to this car. Oh. And then I flip it over. Let's go ahead and shut it off. Get back over here and back in it. Darn pedals. So, right, coming around. I'm actually excited to get some of the cars on some of the rear-wheel drive based cars on the track, because some of those corners are going to be really fun drifting the cars through. This car doesn't like to drift as much, but I was driving some of the other cars. In particular, there is a modded truck from the same mod that made that our ramp truck there, and that thing was interesting on even this. Yeah, wrong button. Even on these little turns, just drifting it around these corners, it was intense, and that felt like a hard hit. So what happened here? Actually, it looks like nothing really happened. I can't tell where it hit. I mean, it did hit. Oh, it might have caught right there on the door because the door is buckled. Okay, I thought that was a harder hit than it actually was. In time, I'll end up classifying what's enough to actually get out of the car and check it out, but that'll come in time. A lot of these new rules with Season 3 and the new track, this is gonna be fun. I hope you guys are excited for it. I know I am. Oh, come on. Woo! Oh! Alright, we're stuck. Let's see how we're stuck. Oh my. That is unfortunate. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and just pull ourselves off here. Grab down here on the actual frame of the car. Oh! There we go. Hop in it. Oh, come on. Come on, car. Oh, dear. Holy crap. That was impressive. Steering still works. Do a quick. Yep, the car still wants to move. So that's going to be interesting. Ooh, that might have broke something. That did it. Hitting that rock broke the front suspension because I'm sitting in reverse. Interesting. It has enough power that it's kind of moving itself, but that would be the end of this car's attempt. Turn it off, hit the park and brake, and that would be not counting our parade lap. That would be 1.5 points because, well, it did the flying lap. It did the flying lap. It did la- part of the A track, and it died on the B track. So 1.5. That would hypothetically be the Covet Rally's score if we were talking about it. Now, with this, I don't think we're going to do an overhead view just because this track is very massive to the point where you zoom out to a certain point and you start losing a lot of the foliage. I might play with it, see what we can do. Time will ultimately tell the tale. But that is it for this episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and don't forget if you to hit that bell icon so you know when I post a video. But until next time, guys, please have a good one.